Today we will be ranking the top 32 arcs in One Piece, and you better watch it till the end. Foxy's arc. This Foxy guy is all about games that only he thinks are fun, kinda like that weird uncle who always cheats at Monopoly. Luffy wins, but Foxy is still annoying and still losing. Usopp's intro. Usopp lies as much as a politician at an election rally. The Straw Hats keep getting beaten up in ridiculous ways. Let's just say it's not a high point for our mighty crew. Punk Hazard. They enter an island that's hot and cold at the same time, like a Tinder date that's half angel, half, giant kids, gas clouds, and a lot of things that don't make sense until way later. Orange Town, Nami's intro. Buggy the Clown steals the spotlight like a drunk uncle at a wedding, but Nami's here, and she's way more interesting, and probably better at stealing your wallet. Fishman Island. Picture an underwater city with fish people. Just don't get too close to Hody Jones. He's the kind of guy who'd try to sell you essential oils and blame the government. Reverse Mountain. Luffy's crew sails up a mountain because, science? They meet Laboon the whale, who bangs his head against a wall like someone at their 9-to-5 job. Amazon Lily. Luffy's on an island of warrior women, and they fall for him hard. He's clueless, but we all know Hancock isn't just interested in Luffy's personality. Return to Saba Odi. The crew's back, showing off their new moves. Zoro slices a ship in half, flexing so hard that even the gym bros would be jealous. Logue Town, the last town before the Grand Line, where the crew leaves a trail of chaos. Smoker's here with his smoke powers, clearly living up to his name, must have a strong lungs policy. Thriller Bark. Zombies, ghosts, and a skeleton who jokes about boning. Brook joins the crew, and there's some horror comedy gold. But the arc drags on like a late-night infomercial. Barati Sanji's intro. Sanji's an amazing cook who can also kick you where it hurts. His goodbye to his old chef is heartwarming and snot-filled. And Zoro's sword fight is legendary. Don Krieg? More like Don Yon. Romance Dawn. Luffy starts his pirate dream, can't swim, and punches bad guys. Alvida, who looks a lot like a nightmare in this arc, gets kicked to the curb. A glow-up for all of us. Jaya. Luffy punches a jerk for stealing his new friend's gold. Nothing says loyalty like a right hook. Mont Blanc Cricket is the friend we all want, and Luffy is the guard dog we all need. Whiskey Peak. The crew parties hard, then fights a bunch of bounty hunters. They discover their enemy is actually a princess. Talk about a morning after surprise. Little Garden. Dinosaurs and giant warriors. Usopp gets inspired, and Zoro's ready to slice off his own legs. This is what happens when you've got no backup plan. Drum Island. Chopper's intro. Chopper's mentor has a cure for everything that's mostly alcohol. We meet Chopper, who's cuter than a puppy in a onesie, but with much more trauma. Skypiea. The crew flies up to a sky island, where a god named Enel tries to shock them all to death. You could say the guy's got a god complex, and a superiority kink. Whole Cake Island. Sanji's family is like the worst reality TV family ever. Luffy busts in to get him back, because apparently nobody's allowed to kidnap his chef husband. 19. Dressrosa. This one is long. Like, watching paint dry long, but the action is intense. It's also where Luffy meets an uncomfortably buff gladiator named Rebecca. Arlong Park. Nami's trapped by a shark-faced jerk named Arlong. Luffy frees her, making this the first time we see him go full rage mode. No one disrespects his girl. Friend. Impel Down. Luffy breaks into prison and somehow makes it worse. Old enemies become friends, and Ivankov shows everyone what real style looks like. Also, Bon Clay's back, and we love him. Alabasta. Luffy fights a guy with a sand fetish who's drying up a desert kingdom. He restores the rain to Alabasta, but it's Luffy's sweat that's pouring by the end of the arc. Zoo. The crew finds an island on a giant elephant. We learn about these ancient poneglyphs that are like the world's worst jigsaw puzzle. Everyone starts to realize, oh crap, we have to actually finish this. Reverie. The world's leaders meet to act important, while the celestial dragons show us they're about as likable as an eviction notice. Also, Fishman Princess Shirahoshi gets kidnapped because she's got issues. Eni's lobby. Luffy punches a government agent so hard it's like watching karma on fast forward. Also, Robin yells, "I want to live," making this arc emotionally charged and iconic. Wano, samurai, ninjas, and big battles. Luffy takes on Kaido, a giant guy with a drinking problem and a dragon form. The people of Wano are kind of like medieval cosplayers, but cooler. Marineford. Luffy tries to save his brother Ace, but loses him in the saddest way possible. Luffy is devastated, and if you didn't cry here, you probably don't have a soul. Saba Odi Archipelago. This place is full of snobby celestial dragons and rookie pirates trying to make a name. The crew gets split up in a way that no amount of therapy could help. Egghead Island. Latest island where we learn huge secrets. Lots of stuff goes down, but we're all still trying to figure out how the series is actually going to end. Water 7. The cruise ship, Going Merry, is sinking, and so is the crew's vibe. Usopp even quits for a bit. This arc is an emotional wreck, like a breakup song on repeat. Eni's lobby. Again. The gang goes all out to save Robin from the government, while Usopp puts on a superhero mask and calls himself Sniper King. Talk about an identity crisis. Water 7 and Annie's lobby combined. Together, these arcs are pure One Piece magic. Emotional highs, legendary fights, and the crew going all ride or die for each other. It's the peak of all things pirate and friendship.